yes, I'm human and I'm trying hard to fit in this society and being the human everybody expects me to be. And maybe I do quite well, but in the end, I always ask myself, okay, is it enough? Is it good enough? Should I be another way? So, and I think this is quite what many people ask themselves. You have to know I'm a social worker in my normal working life. So many things in the lyrics, some are about my own thoughts, but many things are about things I see and people tell me. People are not quite um, sure in their own lives, and yeah, so this is, I think this was the basis for DEMI-HUMAN. Yeah.
Hey everyone, Dan here from Headbangs Australia. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting post-metal releases that's been released. I'm joined by Johannes from Haze Miasma to talk about their upcoming album, which is already released on November the 7th, which is called Praise Me, Erase Me. It's a record packed with atmosphere, emotion, and massive contrast. So let's get straight into it. Johannes, thanks for joining on Headbangs Australia, mate. How you been?
Thanks for the invitation. I'm quite fine. It's early in the morning here, 8 o'clock in Germany. So yeah, I had my first coffee, and later on I have to go to work as everybody does. So, but now I have some time to talk to you a bit, and thank you for the invitation.
No problems at
Talk
all, mate. No.
about Haze Miasma here. That's cool to show it to Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited. Before we dive into the new record. Basically, it was released on November the 7th. So, how's the reaction been in Germany and in Europe from your fans, from the media outlets that are out there, and pretty much the general public? How's the reaction been with the release?
Yeah, I think we have to wait the next weeks because we're not such a big band in Germany, and at the moment we're not a touring band, so it's quite hard to get yeah, the audience for such kind of strange music. It isn't very mainstream music,
Yeah.
but we have a small but very nice fan base, and the reactions were quite cool to the new album, which is great because you never know what's coming out. But yeah, people say it's the production is cool. It's quite natural, but big as well. And the music is quite unique. And yeah, it's. I think it's a nice album, and people tell it it's an album worth listening from start to the end. Um, and that's what it was made for. It's not just single songs one after another. It isn't as well a concept album, but it makes sense to listen it in a whole thing, I think. Yeah.
Well, I've been listening to it for a while. In the lead up to the album, we added tracks to our official Spotify playlist on Headbangs Australia. So we added tracks DEMI-HUMAN and Eden when it was out to release. I have to say, I really love DEMI-HUMAN. I really love the vocals coming in. Basically, it's like storytelling, and then it just progresses. And Eden's pretty much similar as well. But when I heard the whole album, it's basically very well composed, very technically well composed. I really loved the exploration. I really loved how sort of dynamics work in each song. It's a journey. It's not a quick kind of 4 minute songs. That's progressive. It's a very journey song, and it's really enjoyable for me to listen. And I feel more at peace when I listen to it. I listen more emotional. I find it very emotional when I listen to it. So it's a very emotional record. Basically, just the way it's written, the way you put in these components of nature's spirituality, human necropsy, it's all thrown in there, and I got to experience that. I guess my question is for you, is that what's your own emotional reaction when you listen back to it? Does it feel like the album you were fishing when you started writing it?
Mm. It's an interesting question. And first, you're absolutely right. It's quite emotional. It's quite personal for me, as I'm the main composer in the band and responsible for lyrics and something. And yeah, I can. And the album happened over the last years. It wasn't just made in last year. It just developed over the last 3 or 4 years, maybe. So it's a long time, and yeah, sometimes I really can feel the vibes I had while writing some riffs, which happens mostly in autumn and winter for this kind of music. Um, yeah, but sometimes even with the lyrics, sometimes I wonder, I ask myself, okay, um, what was the incident at this time that I wrote those lyrics? And I'm not quite sure about it anymore. Sometimes it's just a kind of association, and it's not always quite open, even to myself years after. So sometimes it's just a emotion at one specific time, and yeah, it develops and it changes, and it's for me it's fun to listen it again, because there were some months I didn't listen to that stuff at all, and now as everything was ready with the vocals, yeah, I really enjoy the result that came out afterwards and what was made out of it. So yeah, um, I don't know if this was the answer to your question, but
No. That's a very good assessment from your own perspective. Because musically, like when people listen to music, the writer and composer has what it's about, and then people always interpretation. So it's always good to hear the composer's interpretation of the music, because it could be always different, or could be very similar. Like I find the song "DEMI-HUMAN" more like, from my interpretation, it's more like asking myself the question, basically, am I a good person, or this or that? Because it's kind of like, or am I human? Am I a monster? Am I this? And I find that when I interpret that as an example,
Mhm.
I kind of love just going, it's a for me, it's a very humanity song, because every human being's out there, or who is humanity. There's no black and white. There's always gray in everyone, in my interpretation. So I really, really relate the world to demi-human, because it's kind of like saying, for me, it's just asking a question: am I a human, or am I,
Mhm.
some kind of different kind of person? My interpretation is different to probably how you write as a
Yeah,
composer, but it's always an interesting intake when some certain songs can interpret it differently, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, and that's quite an interesting interpretation, because my interpretation, I think, was more um, not this human monster kind, but maybe yes, I'm human and I'm trying hard to fit in this society, and being the human everybody expects me to be, and maybe I do quite well, but in the end, I always ask myself, okay, is it enough? Is it good enough? Uh, should I be another way? So, and I think this is quite what many people ask themselves. You have to know I'm a social worker in my normal working life, so many things in the lyrics. Some are about my own thoughts, but many things are about things I see and people tell me. People are not quite um, sure in their own lives, and yeah, so this is, I think this was the basis for DEMI-HUMAN. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally can see from that perspective, and it's very, very. It kind of makes that kind of human kind of element questions. How you fit in, or if you don't fit in. Because I'm not really much of a social. I've got I miss for me personally, I get a lot of miss social cues. So I'm always
Yeah.
asking myself, am I fitting in? Am I overstepping something? So
Yeah.
it's a good topic to explore that, because as we dive into the album, then it's not just about personal struggles; it's about human necropsy, nature's fatality. So I guess my question for you is, how does the concept of praise me, erase me differ from what you explored on your previous album, which was Agenda Endure?
Hmm.
And where do you feel the biggest musical or emotional evolution happened?
Mm, I think nature, for example, is always a big influence and um, necessary for the writing process. As I said, mostly I write those songs in autumn and winter because I need kind of emotional mood, and that's if it's dark outside, and even yeah, sometimes the influences from doing a hike or a walk through the forest or something. That's all stuff that's important for me to feel this kind of mood which I need for the music. So nature is always a big influence, and was it as well at this album. And the album title "Praise Me, Erase Me" relates very much to nature, because you know everybody, even in those times, in times of Instagram and influences, everybody praises nature, but we all do pretty much to erase it. So this is the kind of title, but it's not only about nature, and I think this is maybe the biggest progress, that most songs on Praise Me or Erase Me aren't about aren't pure nature songs, but are more in those personal social things. As I told you about DEMI-HUMAN, but maybe Cannula is a song which is about drug abuse, and the fight against the addiction, and the problems to get back into society and something like that. Um, yeah, and Shadows is a track about doing mistakes and uh, learn out of mistakes, and yeah, so I think it's more personal and more on a social basis, and maybe the nature thing is a bit more in the background, but it's
Yeah,
very present in the album title. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It makes sense when I hear that nature, because right now in Australia we're pretty much in well, we're in spring going on towards summer. So the experience for me when I listen to it today, it's like I can feel like this music's more setting for the autumn and the winter, where the weather is misty and it's stormy.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get that more experience. The tracks that you mentioned, Shadows, Kanawa, they're actually also good tracks as well. And then you just basically added that nature. I think that when I get to experience in that weather, I feel like I get to experience that more, because, as you said, that's when you do your songwriting in that period where
Yeah.
you're surrounded by that weather. So I guess that because you do your songwriting in that always in autumn and spring. That's basically, is that where you get your inspiration for the mood setting when you compose your music as a composer?
Yeah, I think um, be- because um, I think my mood is sometimes quite melancholic when I write this music, and this fits well into this autumn and winter stuff. So I don't know, maybe in summer I'm just more busy with other things, and meeting people outside, being outside, and there's not. I maybe I don't take that much time to stay at home, write music, stay on my small studio at home and something, and write music. Maybe this easier for me in those winter days and autumn days. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. What also drawn me to the album as well? It's the artwork. I find it very elegant, very, it's very simple, very simple. The art was covered by Niklas Sundin. What was the vision behind choosing him, and how does the artwork reflect or amplify the themes within the album?
Yeah, that's cool that you ask, and this really I'm really happy about this because you have to know I got to know Niklas Sundin personally through Inertial Music, our small label. It's an Italian label. Niklas is from Sweden. Most people know him as the long time, over 20 years, guitarist for Dark Tranquillity. And now he's as well a quite known cover artist. And he's doing quite much things with Inertial Music, and he has own musical project with a leader of Inertial Music. So we had some contact over my solo project, which is called Hjort, which is also released by Inertial Music. So we had the first contacts there, and then it was quite cool for me to ask him if he wants to do the artwork for Haze Miasma as well. As I always was a big fan of Dark Tranquillity, and so Niklas was just like I'm a guitarist, he's a guitarist, and he was the guitarist of Dark Tranquillity, which I was really listening to in the 90s because I liked all those Göteborg, Gothenburg, melodic death metal stuff. And it's so cool to talk to somebody who was just part of the scene in the 90s. So this was nice, but I also really like his style, which is, as you said, quite simple in a way, but very iconic. And I think this fits well if you look at the artwork of Chanda Endure, which was made by Jens Reinhold, and a former friend who did many stuff for my older bands. And this was also quite simple and iconic. So I think it fitted really well. And as he proposed this thing with a bird in the frame, I really thought, yes, this is perfect for our album, for the music. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm really happy about it. Not only about the artwork, but also about this connection now. And yeah, that's cool for me.
Yeah, man. What I really like about the artwork, because as we've mentioned, it's got a lot of elements with the music. I think it's the eye of the bird. If people like, we will have a screen on in the video. If you guys look at the bird, it's basically for me it's a mystery because you don't know behind the emotion of the bird, and I think that works really well with what we discussed with the tracks and what the elements are. And I think that the eye is basically what will let you dream, and it really corresponds it really well. And the artwork and the music goes hand in hand. So it's on the screen. Pause on your video, just have a look at it. It's very simple in the frame, but it's the emotion, and I think he done a good job capturing that emotion, because it's very hard to put something on the picture with the emotion, because the emotions are it's very challenging, and he's done a very good execution.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think you're right. And you have to know, as Niklas said, yeah, he tries to do the layout. He already had this idea with the bird, but just to work it out, he wanted to have those. He wanted to listen to the music while doing it, to have the right inspiration for it, and it was quite fun because the first idea was to get those to get this bird in red, like we did for the DEMI-HUMAN single, because we really liked this red bird as well. But this was the original idea for the whole album. And Niklas, while working it out, came when he listens to the music, it's more earthly tone maybe, and should be more in this sepia style, which was quite fun to and cool to talk about. So okay, this is the idea, but the music maybe it's more another color. So yeah, and I think that's important for the result in the end, that people like you as well can say, yeah, it fits the music quite well. So yeah, and I also think this, yeah, was a good result. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Before we started the interview, you mentioned the band's name is very cryptic. So yeah, what was behind with naming the band? Was the cryptic intended, or just it came out the way it came out?
You have to know this. I think when we thought about the name, this was somewhere in 2018 or 19, so it's quite a long time gone. And yeah, I think we knew, okay, the music is quite cryptic, and we are not quite sure, will it be post metal, or will it in the result be more black metal or something. Then our cleansing, an old friend of mine, Andy, came and did the clean vocals, and the whole music changed through that. So everything was a bit confusing for us. So we thought maybe a confusing name could be good as well. And I wanted to have some contrast, and it's like we do in the music, like we do in all the visuals with black and white, and in the music calm parts and very aggressive, fast black metalish parts. So this was the idea behind the name, and it's something I can't explain it today very well, I guess, but it was something about the W stands for something like vigor, something positive in life, and then there's this haze, but also haze like something is haunting, and miasma is like a word for something dark, a dark aura, something that's poisoning maybe. So there's also this contrast between positive things in life and dark things in life. This was something like the idea behind this name, and yeah, it is like what is this? So
Yeah,
yeah, and it's not easy, I know.
no, it's a cool name. It's a cool name. It's a cool name. It's a kind of a tongue twist for me, but it's a cool name. When it's a cool name because yeah, now that you gave I got, now I understand a bit of the cryptic behind it. I go, yeah, everything makes sense to pretty much how you compose your music and stuff. So very interesting, very interesting. You said earlier you guys are not a touring band. Does the band have any plans to be a touring band, or do you guys plan to do shows? Or you guys that's more recording band, but back in
Yeah.
Germany and Europe?
You have to know that we definitely started as a studio project. It started with my own ideas, and I wanted to make something out of it, record it, and I got help from Sebastian, our bassist, and who's doing the harsh vocals. And this time he had his own studio, and we just started recording one thing after another. But yeah, until now, everybody has his other stuff and other bands. Our singer is playing in an Irish folk band. Our drummer has another metal band. So yeah, in the beginning, it was like, yeah, okay, so everybody wanted to do this music, but there wasn't that much time to think about touring and playing concerts and something. We're even not living at the same city in Germany. We're just spread over big area, so that's not quite easy. There's no possibility of rehearsing together, but maybe these times this is not always necessary. So, and sometimes we are thinking about it would be really cool to do this live, and we had to rearrange something to play it live because the music wasn't written for a live band, so we don't have any boundaries when we write the music that we have to think, okay, there should only be 2 guitars because we have to play it live. We just do it as we think it sounds really good. So I think to play it live, we would have to rearrange something, but this would be really fun. I think this could be a nice challenge, and yeah, maybe sometime it will happen. So, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, look, man, I hope it does one day, because it's very enjoyable to listen to the recording and to have that live. I think it will be another. I said it will be fun for you, and also another fun way to engage an audience in more of an emotional way, because your music very resonates with that. Before we wrap up the interview, you're in autumn going into winter right now. So what's next for the band? Are you planning to write new material, or are you just looking to just relax for a bit, or what's the next, what's basically the next 12 months happening for you right now, my friend?
Yeah, I think at the moment we are more in the mood like, okay, this is always quite exciting and much work in the end to get this release, and now it's quite a relief that is out and it's done, and it's still work to do this promotional work. But I think for new Haze Miasma music, we have to get a new breath or something. So we just have to relax a bit. But I'm working these days on new material for my solo work for Hjort, which is just like a little brother of Haze Miasma. It's only instrumental, but it's also very atmospheric and more nature influenced than Haze Miasma. And I've just a bit new stuff, and I'm working on that. Our drummer is working really hard on a release for his other band. That's what he's doing at the moment. So yeah, everybody's quite busy with music, but maybe not with Haze Miasma at this time, but this will come. And I think give us some weeks or month, and then we will want to do something new and continue with it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I look forward to what the future holds for this project and for your other project as well. Thank you so much for joining Headbangs Australia. Those of you, check out their tracks. It's streaming now on Bandcamp. Basically, also through their label. We've got some tracks added to our Spotify playlist. I guarantee you'll feel more experienced in a very emotional way. This is a great record. So those of you that like your atmospheric and your progressive and this is a very emotional record. I think this will resonate with you guys, and we'll see you guys at the next video.